And now, it's time to see what was in your inbox last night. Monday edition, with Michelle from Payometry Labs.
Welcome back to your inbox last night, the only show that reads fintech headlines so you don't have to lose sleep, lose your mind, or accidentally think the CRA rollback is a new dating app. Today, the Senate takes a red pen to overdraft rules, the CFPB enters its chaotic evil era, and 971 Bitcoin ATMs vanish, possibly into a DAO, possibly into a Waffle House. Affirm flexes, KYC gets a glow up, and small merchants still paying big fees because apparently regulation only works if you're over 6'2" and publicly traded. Let's dive in. Let's get started with today's top headlines. While you were sleeping, they were taking a hacksaw to financial regulation in Washington. Banking Dive is reporting that the Fed, OCC, and FDIC are seeking to rescind the Community Reinvestment Act final rule. The fair lending regulation was the first change to that rule in 46 years, and the change was said to, quote, make the financial system safer and fairer at the time. Today, the regulators at the FDIC, OCC, and the Fed cite pending litigation and court challenges as the reason for pulling back the revised 2023 rule. They intend to revert to the pre-2023 CRA framework while continuing to work collaboratively on future implementation. Banking Dive is reporting that the Senate has voted to overturn the CFPB's $5 overdraft fee cap rule. The resolution passed 52-48, with potential for full repeal pending House approval and President Trump's signature. Critics argue the repeal would hurt consumers, while supporters claim it preserves essential overdraft protection options for working-class Americans. Banking Dive is reporting that House Republicans are intensifying scrutiny of the CFPB and advocating for structural reforms. During a House hearing, GOP lawmakers criticized past CFPB leadership for regulatory overreach and proposed bills to make the Bureau a 5-member commission and bring it under congressional appropriations. Some Democrats and former CFPB officials pushed back, calling the current administrative shutdown illegal and a threat to consumer protection. Fintech Business Weekly is reporting that the CFPB seems to have offered regulatory relief to small-dollar lenders via a short blog post. The Bureau stated it will not prioritize enforcement of certain payment withdrawal rules taking effect March 30, 2025. Critics argue the non-binding nature of the statement lacks legal weight, and the CFPB suggests it may issue new rulemaking to narrow the rule's scope. Stay tuned for new regulations by text, coming soon. JD Supra is reporting that a fintech trade association is seeking to intervene in litigation over the CFPB's open banking rule. The group argues the CFPB's delays and actions show it cannot adequately represent industry interests and urges the court not to extend compliance deadlines without hearing from them. The open banking rule, finalized in October 2024, mandates standardized consumer data access by financial providers. FDIC is reporting that it has issued new guidance clarifying how FDIC-supervised banks can engage in crypto-related activities. The updated guidance rescinds previous policies and confirms that banks may participate in crypto activities without prior FDIC approval, provided risks are properly managed. FDIC Acting Chairman Travis Hill said this shift reflects a more open approach to blockchain innovation aligned with safety standards. FinTech Futures is reporting that the White House has unveiled a national fintech framework to guide innovation and regulation. The framework emphasizes principles like consumer-centric design, financial inclusion, technological fairness, and cybersecurity. It serves as both a product of past public-private collaboration and a roadmap for future engagement across the fintech ecosystem. Since cybersecurity defensive measures have been rolled back and Elon is Lord of Technology for all agencies, the word inclusion was on the banned list a few weeks ago. Maybe the consumer-centric design is the good part. Turning now to the big story for today, small merchants left behind by Reg 2. A new report from the Kansas City Fed finds that Reg 2, once heralded as a fix for rising debit card fees, has largely failed to deliver meaningful relief to small businesses. While the rule was intended to curb interchange fees and increase routing flexibility, the real-world impact has been uneven at best. The study shows that some networks did reduce fees for select merchant categories, but in many cases, fees actually increased or stayed the same. And when there were reductions, they were often overshadowed by much larger fee hikes elsewhere. what's holding small merchants back? The report points to limited pricing transparency, widespread use of flat-rate processing models, and little leverage to negotiate with networks. In other words, even with the regulatory tools in place, most small businesses are still stuck paying more than their fair share, while larger retailers capitalize on volume discounts and sophisticated routing. As debates around payment network competition and interchange reform continue, this research is a clear signal. Policy fixes aren't working if the smallest players can't access the benefits. Finally, there are a few industry insights to report. ATM Marketplace is reporting that 971 Bitcoin ATMs went offline in March 2025, dropping the total to 37,920 machines. The decline follows a high point of nearly 40,000 machines in December 2022 and coincides with increased regulatory scrutiny aimed at preventing ATM-related fraud. Only 188 new machines were added during the same period, failing to offset the month's losses. Crowdfund Insider is reporting that Affirm's COO, Michael Linford, has outlined the company's competitive edge in the BNPL sector. He emphasized Affirm's diversified revenue model, transparent practices, and partnerships, like its new deal with JPMorgan Chase. Linford positioned Affirm's U.S.-focused strategy and financial discipline as strengths amid rising industry competition and scrutiny. Finextra is reporting that financial institutions need to redefine KYC processes to improve onboarding. Inefficiencies in data collection and manual systems are slowing down client onboarding and creating compliance burdens. By streamlining data sourcing and applying automation, banks can accelerate compliance, improve customer satisfaction, and fuel better lifecycle management. That's a wrap on today's FinTech Follies. If your jaw dropped, your eyebrows raised, or your internal monologue whispered, "Wait, what?" Go ahead and share this episode with someone else who lives in spreadsheets, regulations, and existential dread. And if you want more behind the scenes, early access, or just to support your favorite newsletter turned podcast, become a member of the Your Inbox Last Night community. We have cookies, metaphorically, and better takes than your favorite LinkedIn guy. Catch you in your inbox next time, assuming the regulators don't rescind the entire concept of news.